Evening everybody, welcome back to another race here in Race Department. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am as always doing the streams for this great league, and we've got a great lineup looking up here tonight. Just quickly, I will run through all the drivers currently in their cars. So CRG Demon, one of the championship contenders at the moment, then he's actually hosting this race, has Nain, who's the tier coordinator, B Colt, who I believe is filling in for Shelley. Then Alex, he is filling in for Dan the Snake. Dan the Snake's not taking part in this race, so Alex coming in. I will have to differentiate between the two, so I'll call, if they get into a scrap together, I'll call them Alex 1 or just Alex and Alex for fun. My name is Jared, as always in the Mercedes. Ollie D, as always in his Racing Point, and Alex, who I can actually check where he is. I believe he's 4th in the standings. I will check the standings right now. Yeah, he is 4th. And then Danny, who's not had good luck at all. He's been disconnecting a lot. He did not have a good race. He's still yet to get points in this season. Yaminator in that Alfa Romeo car, he had a great race last time out, and he managed to pick up, I believe, 6th position in the end. Despite running with the front guys for a long time, he had a lot of penalties. Clarkey in that Williams car, doing pretty well in the standings at the moment. Currently 6th place at the moment. 2 consecutive podiums for him. My Twitter's just crashed, so that's where I'm looking at the standings. Hang on, do bear with me. Then we got Raymith, one of the Red Bull cars, and Nexus also in a Ferrari car. Sorry, that is, who's he filling in for? He's filling in for Kian. Kian's not here tonight. And then the Chinese Grand Prix winner. Did he win the Chinese Grand Prix? He did win the Chinese Grand Prix. Will, for that McLaren team, he scored their first points with that win. Then Formula Jake, as always, in the AlphaTauri car. And then BDG Big C, one of the championship contenders, of course, and Super Scrub rounds off the grid at the moment. So quickly, I will just run through the constructors, the drivers' standings at the moment. So Davidos, with 2 wins to his name, he took a great victory last time out in Canada. Of course, he leads the standings by 1 point over Big C at the moment. Big C, of course, on 83 points. He's picked up a win this season, Big C, and he's also been consistent with the podiums. He didn't have the best race last time out in Canada. He got 5th position, which is still pretty decent. And then just a little bit behind them, 6 points off the lead, is CRG Demon, of course. Ever so consistent on the podium. 4 podiums this season, all of them 2nd places. Will he get that win that he has been hoping for a long time so far in this season? About 6 weeks for that. Then Alex, of course, took the first win of the season. He hadn't been on the podium since last week, and it was also his first points since round number 3, so he's done well to get himself back up in the championship hunt. 19 points off the lead. There's a bit of a gap between Demon and Alex, 13 points separating those two, and then just 3 points back Shelley, who's not appearing here tonight. He won't be racing in that house car, so that does allow for Alex to get away from him slightly. A little bit of a gap between Shelley and the man in 6th position, that's Josh, of course. 2 podiums in a row, as I said before, on 48 points. And then Will Murdoch, winner of the Chinese Grand Prix, in 7th position. Yeah, that is. Formula Jake in the AlphaTauri car, consistent with the points. He's mostly in the points for a lot of the races. We are readying up, so we'll wrap this up quickly. I'll just do the top 10. Ollie D in that Racing Point car. He didn't start last race, but he's been consistently in the points in the race that he has started. He's going to keep that point streak alive. Then Jared, rounding out the top 10, he's been in the points every race. Granted, not many, but a point is still a point. There's about 11 points between him and Ollie D. And then Daniel Newcomb, of course, that's Dan the Snake. I will actually call them by their real names, sorry, by their PSN name. So Dan the Snake 22 on 16 points, not starting here tonight. Then Raymith in 12th position at 16 points as well, not scored points since round number 4, so it's been quite a while since he's been in the top 10. Yaminator, who's finally started to pick up some points, 2 consecutive points finishes to his name after 4 races with no points. He's in 13th position. Then Van der Bruges, who hasn't been here for a couple of weeks, in 14th. Kian in 15th. Liam, Super Scrub in 16th, Berry in 17th, H Racing Green in 18th, and Hasnain in 19th, still yet to score a point despite starting every race. He's come close with 11th and 12th and 13th, but he's just not get on in the top 10 yet. Then B Colt in 20th, Danny in 21st, and I think that is right to give it up there. So a little bit of information about the Austrian circuit. We are here tonight. Of course, located in between the Styrian Mountains, is a very fast circuit. We're looking at 1 minute 2s, low 1 minute 3s, and high 1 minute 2s is what I'm expecting the pole time to be. And then we got Ferrari coming out. That is either Alex or that is Alex. Right, so Alex will be the first one out. But we will just quickly talk about Austria, of course, if I could just find it on my spreadsheet that I've got here. Here it is. Right, so there's 10 corners on this track, 3 to the left and 7 to the right. That makes it a clockwise circuit. Then it is about, well, the race distance in kilometers is looking at 155 kilometers roughly, so that's quite a lot. We're running the C4, C3 and C2 tires, and you're losing about 18 seconds in the pit lane, sorry. So yeah, that is pretty much all you need to know about the circuit. We'll follow along with Alex. He hasn't got his win, well, he hasn't had the momentum since his win. Did manage to get second position last time out, but those are his only 2 podiums, so we will go through a full lap on board with this car. So currently just coming through the last couple of corners, going to build up that momentum. Very easy to invalidate in that final sector of the track, but now here he goes. He starts his lap, foot to the floor, and on the run up towards turn number 1. It's an uphill corner, so you can actually be quite nice with the, you can be as aggressive as you want because it's an uphill corner, so it actually favours you with lockups. And then flying up towards turn number 2, which is right here, more of a kink in the straight, and up towards turn number 3. Easy corner to lock up on, probably the slowest point on the track. Now we're at the peak of the circuit, is pretty much all downhill from here. So now coming up towards turn number 4, a downhill corner, very easy to lock up here. We'll see if Alex does so. Yes, he does, and making the exit nice and wide, and opening it up onto this short run up to turn 5 and turn 6. You want to keep it as tight to the curbs as possible. Easy to run off there, but he seems to be doing it pretty nicely. 44.2 through the second sector. A little bit of a slide coming out of turn 6 and through turn 7 as well, so not the nicest through there, and through turn 9, and finally turn 10. That is his lap. And what is the banker time going to be for this circuit? It is going to be a 1 minute 3.2. I think I underestimated these guys. I expected 103s, low 103s to be pole time. B Colt did a 103.7 right there. It'd be I can actually do like mid 1 minute 3s. So I'd reckon these guys will actually be in the 1 minute 2s by the end of it. Given how much quicker they all are than me, I could not hold my own against any of these guys in the league. As Davidos, the first driver, into the 1 minute 2.9s, and then Big C immediately responds. Renault currently locking out the front row. They are leading the Constructors' Championship. We'll follow along with Will on his actually. Oh, the 2 McLarens right up against each other. Demon beginning his lap. He's currently 3rd in the championship behind the 2 Renault cars. Right. I'm just trying to find someone who's towards the end of a lap. I think our best bet is with Jan Benater, currently in the 2nd sector. Don't know what his time's looking at right now. He hasn't set a lap yet. This will be his first run. Not the quickest run through that corner. 44.3 through the 6 through the 2nd sector. That's going to be about 3/10 off of Alex from what I saw in his run, so it'll be quite far off the lead. But now a bit of a slow run through there. Now through the final corner, is he going to go off? He pretty much keeps it on perfectly. That was a nice exit there, but a 1 minute 4.2, that's the slowest of all, unfortunately. So we'll keep going with Danny, it is, because Will invalidated on his run, so he's not going to go for it again. Not the best corner through there, and he's actually oh dear. Right, so I know what Danny did there. Danny understeered through the corner, which is easy to do. It's a high-speed corner, and unfortunately for him, I don't want to laugh at him, but Danny, unfortunately, he invalidated on that run by running too wide on the exit and then trying to pull it into the pits. He did a huge lock up and he went straight into the barrier, and for some reason that was enough to make him lose his tyre. A head-on collision, I wouldn't have expected him to actually lose his entire tyre from that. That's crazy. We'll keep going with Will, his teammate. My phone is ringing. Sorry about that, everyone. I will have to reply to them in a moment, but Will currently through the second sector on his run, keeping it nice and tight, and on exit there, 44.5 through a second sector. Could be quicker, but could be slower, so he's on a pretty nice run. Will he hold his nerve through the final sector, as now coming through this section of the track. I'm a little bit unfocused at the moment. Seems like a couple cars coming out for their final runs. Bad exit for Will there, I would say. And yeah, not a good lap from him. A 1 minute 4.1. He should definitely be further up the grid than that. As we'll keep going with Jared in that beautiful black Mercedes car, of course, that's been dominating the real life F1 season. Jared's been in the points every race so far this season, which means he has to keep up that streak for this race as well. A lot of people do really like Austria because it's not the most difficult track. A really poor run for Jared through there. He lost a lot of time in turn 9 and 10, so that's going to hamper him on his run. Where's he going to go? Still going to go 8th fastest, to be fair to him. Not a terrible lap. It's pretty decent. Keep going with Hasnain. Is he going to pick up? Oh no, he's not on a lap. That's a shame. Will's not on a lap. I don't think anyone's really on a lap. We'll follow along with the man on provisional pole right now, BDG Big C, as he begins his second run of the session with 11 minutes to go. So coming up towards turn number 1, he's going to beautifully glide over the apex of the corner, bit of a slide out of the corner, and yeah, he's going to back off on that one instantly. So bit of a short end, quick end to the lap. We'll keep going with Jay Clarkey, who's just come through the first corner up towards turn 2 and turn 3, rising over the peak into the braking zone, heavy down into second. I would actually go into first gear, and he has done that to get that extra bit of rotation, immediately short shifting all the way up to 5th to get a little bit of traction on exit. Of course, won't have as much speed or momentum, but it is good for that, especially in those tricky traction zones like turn 3. Big lock up through turn 4, Alex getting out of the way from him, and now to turn number 5 comes the Williams driver. Pretty decent so far on this run. He is 2/10 up on his lap. This could see him enter the top 5 and maybe into the top 3 if he's lucky and gets a beautiful run through the final sector. He could be on the front row of the grid. So now coming through the final couple of corners, this is a really nice lap actually. He has pretty much nailed the final sector, and now Clarkey to cross the line. He goes 3rd fastest and not too far off of Big C. If I actually just get the gap up, I've forgotten to enable this. I'll do it to the leader. He's just under 1.5 tenths off of Big C at the moment. Davidos just 3/4 of a tenth off. So yeah, pretty close through the top 3. Davidos right now, I just saw a flash up. He was 2/10 down on this run. Yeah, he's going to back off on that lap. Big C has invalidated, so we'll follow along with Demon as he starts his lap. Currently in the championship hunt, he's not too far off of the 2 Renault cars leading the way. 2/10 he needs to find if he wants to be on the front row of the grid and on pole. So now up towards turn number 3. Let's see his sector split. Only a 100th up, but it is only one corner, sorry, for that, and there's Formula Jake crossing the line. He goes 4th fastest. We've got 9 minutes left in the session. We're about halfway through on this run, as now we'll keep going with the CRG team manager. Big lock up on the downhill turn 4, pretty common place to do it, and he's going to go really wide and through there. Alex crossed the line. He goes 2 thousandths quicker than Big C. Wow, that is quite something from the Ferrari man. Will he be back on the top step of the podium this race? We'll only have to find out, but we'll keep going with Demon currently coming through the final couple of corners through turn 9 and turn 10 now. Up towards the line, we'll go on board with the Haas driver. This is looking like a clean lap, and he goes to the top of the leaderboard. 500ths clear of Alex there, so the gap's still not increasing. They are still really close to each other as Hasnain's beginning his lap. We'll keep going with B Colt as he's coming to the end of his run. Up to the line. What will he do? He goes quicker. 11th position. Oh, I thought that Davidos was on a run. It appears not though, so we will go on board. We'll go on board with Raymith, the Red Bull car, in 9th position. Not too much time to be found if he wants to be on pole. He only needs 5/10 of a second, which in F1 terms, to be fair, is pretty massive. So he does need to find a bit of time. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll move on from that. As Van der Broeg joins in a little bit late. He hasn't been in with us since about round number 4, so it's good to see him back in the league, as Will's just getting out of the way of Raymith there. He did a pretty good job of that, and now up towards the final couple of corners, the tricky fast right-handers. They're both downhill corners as well, so you can lock up if you're not careful. As now coming through the final corner, you don't want to run too wide, otherwise you'll invalidate. He's done it pretty well there, and now he crossed the line. He goes 7th fastest, 2/10 improvement. He's not too far off, and Jared did improve on his lap as well. He was right behind the Red Bull car, so good run from him. Davidos, is he missing a wing? Is he missing? He's missing a bit of his end plate. I think he must have had contact somewhere. He's missing. Is he missing pretty much all of his wing, actually? Missing both end plates. He's really beaten that car up. I will read the comments out in just a moment. I'll find someone on a lap. Here we are, PR1 Will, who hasn't had the best run in qualifying right now. Very slow on his run, unfortunately, but he's already found time through the first sector, which is just a corner and a straight, which is pretty difficult to actually make a huge improvement on. So this could be telltale signs of an improved lap and a top 5 position for the McLaren driver. He scored a win in China. He's 3/10 up on this lap. He still needs to find a second if he wants to be the leader of this pole set of this session. So if he wants to be on the front row, he needs to find a hell of a lot of time. A little bit of a wobble through the final couple of corners, just a bit of a correction. Shouldn't affect him too much, as now to cross the line, PR1 Will, he improves to only 12th position, so he's outside the top 10. Alt Strat can work around here. It's pretty much overpowered everywhere you go, so fair play to him. He can make that work. I think Big C's about to start on a run. We won't follow along with him. We'll follow along with Jay Clark, who found a 100th of a second on his run at the moment, so could be a decent time from him. Currently in 6th position. He found us on this lap, Kean Geraghty. I actually know someone with the surname Geraghty, so that's quite cool. There's now Crow Nexus. He's got big shoes to fill. Keaton's a very experienced driver. Unfortunately, he has made some mistakes, as now Big C goes to the top. I thought he was in the pits, but he jumps Demon. He moves ahead, and the 2 esports managers leading the way, which is quite cool to see. But Crow Nexus, 1.1 seconds off the pace at the moment. Could find some improvements on this run. He does improve, only to 13th position though, so he jumps up 2 places. We've only got 4 minutes left in this qualifying session, so if you haven't put in a decent lap so far, you better buckle down and get on with it. And Yaminator's not doing that right now. He's probably invalidated through the first corner there, so not good from him. We have followed along with Davidos, the current championship leader, taking the win last race. He did a really great job. I do apologise if the stream is a bit laggy or whatever. It's just popped up on my screen. I will actually read the chat out just once Davidos finishes on this lap. But up to the first sector, he's down on his time. He must have had a really bad run through the first corner, so that is going to hamper him quite a lot. And he's finally in the stream, CRG Gamer 62. I'm so pleased to see him. He's always told me he'd watch a race, and then he never does, which is really sad to see. Oh, great man. Unfortunately, Davidos backed off on his run, so he's not going to put in a lap here. Formula Jake was actually quicker by about half a tenth on his first corner, so he could have been on for a great lap. Unfortunately, invalidated somewhere. He just backed off. Van der Broeg not pushing. I don't know what he's doing. He's not using it, but he's on a lap, and apparently he's been on this lap for 2 minutes, so don't know what that glitch is. Probably a big one. Davidos though, take 2 on this lap. He's got 1 more run to do it. Still isn't finding any improvement through the first sector. Almost a 10th down on that run already, so got to make up a lot of ground on this run here, and up towards turn number 4, a heavy locking up zone and also a tricky traction zone on exit, but the pole manages to make it through pretty cleanly, and up towards turn number 5, the double left-hander, where you want to be as wide on entry and then as tight on mid-corner, and he is improving on this lap. He is finding some time. It's not enough to take pole position at the moment, but he could cover himself off from a couple of guys behind unless he finds a lot of time through this final couple of corners. Could have used a little bit more curve on entry, but it should be okay. Is now up towards, he invalidates on that run, but we'll see what lap he would have done. He wouldn't have gone too much quicker. It wouldn't have put him up any positions, but he's still found an improvement. He did invalidate though, so it doesn't actually count. We'll follow along Formula Jake never mind, we won't follow along Formula Jake because he is not pushing this lap. He's actually almost out of fuel. CRG Demon, since Gamer is supporting him today. What's the championship looking like right now, boss man? Alright, I will tell you. Davidos leading the way by 1 point on Big C. He is those two really close together, consistent podiums from Big C, but I think that DNF in Zandvoort really was detrimental to his championship run. But he made contact with Alex and then he was like, see you later, and he just retired. Then your manager, who you'd probably want to kiss up to, Demon, who we're actually on board with right now, pushing on this lap, currently in 3rd position, Alex in 4th, Shelley in 5th, and then Clark in 6th. We're not going to go through the entire grid. I'll do it once we keep going. Once we progress through the qualifying session. As try and find someone on a run like right now. Davidos pushing again. Jake Clarkey on the end of his lap. The McLaren car, or Will getting out of his way. Will's been on those tyres for 2 laps right now, so I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's actually did his best lap on that, sorry. Clarkey though, I've got the rev glitch with him, that is not nice to see, but he's going to cross the line, goes 3rd fastest, gets ahead of Alex. Hasnain's going to retire in the pits, a full second off. Van der Bruges just goes 14th fastest. Doesn't look like Formula Jake's going to put in a lap, but we'll go on board with the championship leader. Actually, I think his teammate's a little bit further up on his lap, and because the Renault car's so cool, we'll go on board with Big C here. At the end of his lap, he's found a 10th on this run as well, so he's doing really nice work here. Is now to cross the line. BDG Big C, can he improve? And he gets ahead with a 1:02.6. That is a great lap time from him. Demon's not going to fight him. What about Alex? Actually, Davidos is further up on his lap. He's not improving through the 2nd sector, so now to cross the line, up towards it at least, and now I don't think he's going to get it. He does improve, but it's 6th place for the championship leader. Alex, there's the COVID always coming back to me. I need to get some water. But Alex, right now, 4th position for him, 2/10 off of Big C. I didn't actually see his time through there, as now up towards the final couple of corners in the 3rd sector. Can he do it? Is now, he validated on that, God's sake. Raymond's just going to retire on track. I think that's the end of qualifying. Here comes B Colt across the line. Will he improve? He does improve, but not enough to move off any positions, and I think that is it. So Big C takes pole position in this qualifying session. Great job from the man who is in the championship hunt. He's 1 point back in this as well. The audio is ahead of the gameplay for some reason. Is it? It is. Right, just end the stream. I'll be back in a minute, everyone. That does happen.